We're going to look today at pure substances and mixtures and understanding the differences and some other keywords associated with it. We're going to be looking at pure substances first of all. So I'm going to build up a mind map here. You might want to copy the mind map down and then after we've dealt with pure substances there will be some questions for you to have a go at, and then we'll come back and have a look at mixtures. Now the word pure or pure substance can have two meanings. It can have a definition in terms of chemistry, and it can have a definition in terms of everyday life. So in everyday life we use it to mean that nothing extra has been added. So an example of that in everyday life would be pure orange juice, which you might buy in the supermarket, or pure mineral water. They're not actually pure because they have more than one particle, but they've had no extra sugar or no extra chemicals added to it. So we call them pure in everyday life. So an example of that, I'm just going to draw a carton of orange juice there, and you also might want to draw a bottle of water. So these are substances that have more than one type of chemical in them, but they haven't had anything extra added to them. So in the case of pure orange juice, no extra sugar. In the case of mineral water, no other chemicals have been added to it other than as it's been extracted from the ground. In terms of chemistry, it means only one type of particle present. So an example of that, what we use in everyday life, is salt. So the salt that we use in our homes, in our kitchens, has only one type of chemical in it. Distilled water is a pure substance. The silver jewellery is made just of silver. Gold's usually got something added to it as well, but silver itself is usually an absolutely pure substance. So in everyday life it means nothing extra has been added to it. There's more than one type of particle present, but nothing extra has been added. In terms of chemistry, there's only one type of particle present. Salt is an example of that, distilled water, and silver that we make jewellery out of. We can identify a pure substance by their melting and boiling points. The reason being is that a pure substance melts at a fixed temperature. So the examples that we need to know is pure water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and pure water melts at 0 degrees Celsius. Impure substances melt over a range, or melt or boil over a range of temperatures. For example, salt water boils between 95 and 105 degrees Celsius, so we'd see it boil over that range of temperatures. So pure substances have an absolutely fixed melting and boiling point. Impure substances melt or boil over a range of temperatures. So on this page here there are 4 questions to help us understand what we've just written and just heard. So if you want to pause the video and have a go at this now, and then having done that, if you want to pause the video and check your answers. We're now going to go back to our mind map and we're going to talk about mixtures. So, the definition of a mixture is more than one type of particle not covalently or ionically bonded. So these particles aren't bonded to each other, and we'll deal with these words covalently and or ionically later. So if we go back to our example of orange juice, whilst we've called it an pure substance in a everyday use, in fact it's a mixture. Orange juice is a mixture of water, sugar and some other chemicals which we actually need for our bodies, so we call them vitamins. So a mixture is more than one type of particle not covalently or ionically bonded. Another example of a mixture is air. Air contains nitrogen, quite a lot of nitrogen, oxygen, a very small amount of a gas called argon, a small amount, very small amount of carbon dioxide, and a small amount of water vapor. So air here is a mixture because we've got all these different types of particles that are not covalently or ionically bonded to each other. There's a special type of mixture that we need to know about called a formulation. Examples of formulations: household cleaners, medicines, and paints. And formulation, and this is a definition you need to know, is a mixture designed as a useful, product, and it's got very specific quantities of chemicals that are present in it. So if we just review mixtures again, mixtures, we've got more than one type of particle not covalently bonded. An example going back is orange juice, which is a mixture of water, sugar and vitamins. Air is also an example of a mixture which contains argon, carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen and water, although most of it is nitrogen and oxygen. And then we have a special type of mixture called a formulation, which is a mixture designed as a useful product, which has very specific set quantities of the particles in it. Examples of medicines, paints and household cleaners. So there are 4 more questions there if you want to pause the video and have a go at those. And then those are the answers.